Alright, welcome to our next lesson. It's increasing and decreasing quantities by percentages, and basically in this lesson you'll learn how to increase an amount using percentages and then how to decrease an amount using percentages. Now this is absolutely bread and butter. You use this all the time in life, especially when you go shopping. So let's go shopping. You will use these skills all the time, so it's an important skill to know. So hopefully you'll see real benefit in knowing about this. So, increasing and decreasing quantities by percentages. It's really important that you understand the theory behind this, and I'm going to use a little bit of algebra to help you out here. To increase an amount, let's say for example by 20%, we need to find 120%, so 100 plus 20, because we're increasing by 20%, so it's at 100% plus 20 of the amount. But it might not always be 20%, so we just call that X percent. Okay, so if we need to increase something by X amount, by a certain amount, a certain percentage, we need to find 100 plus X amount, whatever that percentage is that they're asking you to increase it by. You need to add them together, and then you need to multiply the amount that they're asking you to do. Of course, it's saying of, and we know of means to multiply, and we multiply by the amount. Okay. Similarly, in decreasing an amount, let's say 20%, we need to find 80%, 100 minus 20%, because we're trying to find a decrease. So if there is a sale on and there was 20% off, we start off with the 100%, what it's worth, and we want to take 20% off, so 100 minus 20. So similar to this, if we had X discount, or X being decreased off the amount, then we need to go 100 minus X, okay, and then multiply it, because it's of, again, of the amount. Okay, so let's have an example. We've got increase, okay, increase, which means we have to add, okay, something on from 100, and it is 30%. So we're going to add on 30, okay, which gives us 130%. Now what's our amount? Okay, because then we need to work out our amount. So our amount is 140. So we need to go 130% times $140. Now, of course, whenever we do this, we change it into either a fraction or a decimal. 130% is the same as 1.3. How do we do that? We divide it by 100, and it gives us 1.3 on our calculator. And then we're going to times our 140. Okay, that, because this is greater than 1, okay, it should be getting bigger. We're increasing from 140, so we want something more than 140. And we get $182. Okay, that makes sense. We've increased 30% from that. Now, we like going shopping on a sale. So decrease. Decrease means minus. Straight away I go my minus. I'm minusing from 100 all the time. And how much are we minusing from? Well, this is a big sale, 65%. So what percentage does that leave us? It leaves us with 35%. Okay, so we need to find 35% of the amount, and the amount is $260. So we need to find 35% of, which is multiply, $260. Okay, which equals 0.35 as a decimal times 260. I'll just put it over here, sorry about that, which will give us $91. Okay, so I'll show calculate the following, showing you're working. Alright, so you've got these questions in your book, so as per usual I would like you to pause the video, give these questions a go, and then I will go through the answers with you. Okay? See you in a sec. Alright, so I hope you've done well on your work. Let's check your answers. So this first one, we're increasing. Okay, we're increasing by 20%. So we're adding on from 100, 20%, which means we're looking for 120%. And what's the amount? The amount is 400. So we're going to go 120% times, because it's of, okay, 400. Okay, so what is 120% as a decimal? It is 1.2 times 400, which gives us, should be more than, because we're increasing, gives us $480. Okay, so next one that you did, you need to increase. So we're adding straight away 100. We need to add 15, gives us 115%. Okay, so, and the amount we're doing that by is 75. So 1.15 times 75 gives us 86.25. Okay, hopefully you got that. Alright, here we go. Make sure we've read it right. We're decreasing, which means minus straight away. We're minusing something from 100. What are we minusing? We're minusing 12%. So 12% minus gives us 88%. So we're working with 88% in this one. 88% is the same as 0.88. We divide it by 100. Okay, and that gives us times our amount, and our amount this time is 200 litres. Okay, 200 litres. So we go 200. Okay, you can keep the litres there so you remember at the end. Punch it into your calculator, and we get 176 litres. Okay, the next one, again, decrease. So we need to minus 100 from 100, 17%. Okay, which gives us 83% is what we're trying to find out. What is 83% of 400? So 83% of 400. Okay, 83% as a decimal is 0.83. Okay, 0.83 times 400 equals 332. Alright, now we've got, this one's a bit trickier. It's got two parts, really important. I hope you found this. Alright, part one, that's all we're going to work on first, and then we get to part two. Okay, part two. So first we're going to do part one. So we're going to do, we're increasing. So instantly I put my plus sign there. 100, and what are we increasing by? We're increasing by 30, so that gives us 130% that we need to find out of. What are we finding out of? Out of 200. So we've got 130% of 200. So that is the same as 1.3 times 200. So we need to get a number larger than 200. And when we put it into our calculator, 1.3 times 200 gives us 260. Okay, now, and then decrease the amount by 30. Decrease what amount are they talking about? We need to decrease, which is minus. So we need to minus by 30. So we're looking for 70% of an amount. Now, what amount are they talking about? They're talking about this amount. Okay, so that's the next bit of information that we're using. So we're finding out 70% of $260. So that's why we had to split it into parts. So now we need to go 70% is the same as 0.7 as a decimal. So 0.7 times $260 is equal to $182. Alright, Next one. We've got $600 here, and it needs to be increased by 12% each month. Each month for 3 months. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Month 1, month 2, month 3. Okay, so we're increasing, so that's a plus. And how much by? 12. So we're going up by 112% each time, and that's the equivalent of 1.12 as a decimal. So 1.12 times, what's our amount? Here it is here, 600. Okay, so this is like going to the bank, and I've deposited my money in the bank, $600, and the bank is actually going to give me interest of 12% per month. That's a darn good rate, I must admit. So in that first month, my $600 has turned into $672. Now, I haven't taken any money out of my bank account, so in the next month, I'm going to get my 12% interest again, but this time, because they've already paid me, I've now got $672 for them to put the extra 12% on. So, when I calculate that, I end up having, after 2 months of putting it in the bank, this is why saving is good, people, is I've got $752.64. So in the third month, I'm going to use this amount as my next amount, and I'm going to times it by my 112%, which we worked out from the start, and calculate the next bit, 64, which ends up giving us 842.9568. Now, we're talking money here, okay? We've got money, dollar signs, which means we can only do 2 decimal places. So we need to look. What do we need to do? We need to look at this one. Is it greater than or equal to 5? Yes, it is. So we need to increase it. We need to bring this one up by 1. So we end up having $842.96 after 3 months of having our money in the bank. That is not bad going. We've increased our money from $600 to $842.96. Now, for those cluey clogs, can we do this? Can you think how this can be done easier using algebra? Can you think of an easier way using algebra? Using algebra. Think about it. There's a little challenge question for you. Alright, we've got our traffic lights here, so if you pause, give these a go, and good luck. We'll go through them in a second. Alright, remembering that this is our core work, this is what this lesson was about. If you can do the red light, then that is good. These are challenge questions, okay, getting harder as we go through. Okay, so we're increasing 70. Increasing, that means we get our our plus sign out by 20%. So we're looking for 120%. Okay, 120% of 70. Okay, so 120 times 70, which ends up equaling 1.22 times 70. Okay, and that equals 84. Okay, so hopefully you got that. And then we've got our decrease. Okay, so we're minusing from 100 by 12%. Okay, so we're looking for 88%. Okay, of $390. Okay, so 0.88 times 390 gives us, hopefully you got, $343.20. Okay, So we then have, we got the Apple Store is having a bit of a discount. If you pay by cash, they will discount by 15%. Now discount means to decrease. Okay, so we've got 100 minus 15 equals 85. So we're looking for 85% of the total amount. Okay, so 0.85 times 320 for our iPad means that if we paid cash, we would pay $272. So the question is actually asking how much will we save. So you've only done some of the work by getting to 272. You now need to minus 272 from the original price to see how much you have actually saved. So the final answer is that you saved $48 on that cash bargain. So it pays to pay cash when there is this sale on. So how much will Sally pay if she paid in cash for her iPad? Well, we've got 100 minus 15, so we're looking for 85% again. Okay, so we're looking for times 470, so she paid a bargain basement of $399.50 for her iPad if she paid cash. Now I'm going to go over the page to explain what's going on with Mary's paint cans. Sorry, I will try and squeeze it in. Okay, Mary's paint cans can come up here. Mary's buying 5 paint cans of $62, so hopefully you added those together and she's paying $310 for her paint cans. But she's actually going to save 10%, so we have to find out 10% of $310. And that equals 31. Okay, so she's saving 31. So we have to go 310 minus 31. Okay, so she ends up with the 10% discount on her paints, paying $279. But she also gets a 5% trade discount as well. So we have to use this amount to find out and take away 5% of that. Now 5% as a decimal is 0.05, and we're timesing by our amount there, 279. So that ends up being $13.95, and we have to take that away from our $279. So 279 minus 13.95. I might even put that as 00 so it all looks nice. Okay, and that ends up giving us $265.05 for Mary. So Mary pays $265.05 for her paint after her discounts. Okay, and the final bit for this, okay, is profit of 20%. That means it's an increase. Okay, so it's a plus. Okay, so he's made that profit on this amount already, so we need to find out what it was before. So we need to go 9600 times 20%. Okay, so that's 9600 times 0.2, okay, which equals $1,920. It's quite a bit, isn't it? For a stamp, who would know? So we need to take that away from the original because we need to find out what he paid back 2 years ago. Minus 1,920 ends up giving us, he paid 2 years ago $7,680 for his stamp. And of course, remember, when you have sentences, you need to answer in a sentence. Therefore, Jack bought the stamp for $7,680 2 years ago. Go. Alright. Hopefully you've learnt everything about increasing and decreasing using percentages.